Nutrition and hydration is essential for children's growth, development, health, and well-being. Improved nutrition can positively influence academic performance and behavior. One of the leading factors that affects academic performance, behaviors, and well-being is nutritional and hydration. Dehydration can cause serious health problems such as headaches, which can affect your learning. According to a Harvard study, more than half of the students are not receiving the adequate amount of hydration.
What is your eating and drinking schedule?
During my first interview, she said that all students eat a healthy, balanced meal at the cafeteria daily. They are allowed to carry water into the classroom as well. She also said that it is important for my students to eat and drink throughout the day so that they are constantly motivated in the classroom and ready to do work. During my second interview, he said that students will have a snack mid-morning, which I feel is important to teach healthiness to the kids. They will have lunch and then be able to have a bottle of water with them throughout the day. We have seen through studies that when students eat and drink throughout the day, it allows them to have energy and be able to maintain their concentration throughout the day on all assignments and the task at hand. The physical environment of my classroom is going to be warm and friendly. I want to have my desk in rows to where my students can engage in discussion. It also prevents cheating and it's easy accessibility throughout the classroom.
Why is your room set up the way it is?
During my first interview, she said, "My room is set up so I can easily interface with all my students. Some of the accents in my room, such as curtains, provide a feeling of warmth and hominess. The natural light lends cheerfulness to the environment. Pictures and posters lend encouragement and motivation." During my second interview, he said, "My room is set up this way that allows the students to be able to work with one another in groups. This allows each one of them to be able to access problems and figure out outcomes as a whole. We have a daily goal chart for each child. This allows them to see what is expected from them daily and how they can achieve those goals. Having access to the arts allows students to let their creativity flow. It can also benefit their academic success on other subjects." A quote from Jamie Myrick once said, "People are forgetting that math is taught when a child is playing an instrument. English is taught when a child is reading or writing a script. Critical thinking is taught when a child is analyzing art." If schools do not include the arts in education, then students are less likely to have a fulfilling, engaging, and successful educational experience. Some of the benefits of the arts are at-risk youth, improves overall performance of students, child development, higher graduation rates, and inspiration and creativity. Art matters because they build confidence and allow for healthy and constructive self-expression. 72% of business leaders say that creativity is the number one skill they are seeking when hiring.
How do you implement art into your classroom?
During my first interview, she said, "Since I teach middle school and high school math, many of my students take art as a separate course. However, geometry does lend itself toward a display of art at times, and these are often hung in the classroom." She also said that music is also another important fine art. "Some of my better math students have been musicians. Music technique is nothing but fractions, eighth notes, quarter notes, half notes, etc." During my second interview, he said, "We incorporate art in the classroom daily as the students will come into class and have the first 10 minutes to draw a picture of anything that they did the day before. These are displayed weekly throughout the classrooms." He also said that we feel the arts and music are very important to the students because it allows them to be able to express themselves in a way that sometimes the classroom does not, as they are working in quads. Teachers tend to have expectations of students based off their gender. Most teachers see males as the dominant ones in the classroom because of their masculine behavior. Boys tend to drop out and create school problems more than girls. As for girls, teachers tend to push them to have a motherly role, such as helping others who are struggling. Teachers tend to use gender expectations to maintain their classroom under control. Teachers should not assume our students' cultural backgrounds based off appearance or stereotypes. Classroom environment should incorporate with students' cultural background. It should also provide student leadership and diversity and have high expectations.
How would you deal with students that have disabilities in your classroom?
During my first interview, she said, some of them have learning disabilities. That definitely affects where I place that particular student in the room to give him or her every possible learning advantage. During my second interview, he said, we have a few kids with disabilities and this allows them to be able to work with the other kids and enjoy the outcome as a whole. Different types of things that cause stress for students is not enough sleep, academic pressure, full schedules, poor eating habits. How to help students manage stress. Give them brain breaks, give them free time to reflect, make sure they are eating a healthy diet, talk with them, and keep them active, such as recess. Types of threats that students face are trouble home life, intruders, healthy environment, racism, and bullying. How does the lack of sleep affect student performance? They have attention problems where they don't focus on the activity or they are slow to reacting to questions when asked. Lack of sleep weakens the immune system, so it is easier to get sick. Students might miss a lot more school if they are sick.
Why is it important to have a healthy relationship with your students and their parents?
During my first interview, she said that mutual trust and respect between teacher and student is of prime importance if learning is to take place. Let your students know you care. Let their parents know you care. Try to manage a non-intimidating classroom environment where students feel free to ask questions. Discipline one-on-one, never through embarrassment. During my second interview, he said, it is important to create relationships with students because this shows them that you are a teacher that cares about each one of them and letting them know how important they are to you. It is important to maintain that relationship with parents as well as they are the ones with the kids at home, and it allows you as a teacher to be able to interact with the parents and be able to develop the relationships as a whole with the student and parents. It is important for students to have a healthy relationship with one another as they are going to be able to help each other with different scenarios. Being active can develop and maintain healthy bone and muscle growth. It can also reduce the risk of obesity and chronic disease such as diabetes, colon cancer, and cardiovascular disease. It can also reduce depression and anxiety, as well as increase student academic performance through increased concentration and attentiveness skills. Students' basic motivation for physical activity forms from not only home life, but what motivational strategies the teachers use. Students, like in all of learning aspects, need models. They need teachers and parents to show them that motivation for physical activity is important.
How do you promote being active throughout the day in your classroom?
During my first interview, she said, physical education is a must for every student. Each of my students is either directly involved with a particular sport or takes a 45-minute class of physical education daily. A healthy body maintains a healthy brain. During my second interview, he said, students will usually get between 20 to 30 minutes of physical activity daily, between recess from the classroom and after or before lunch. We keep them active during the day as we move into different groups and spots in the classroom. It is very important for students to have physical activity during the day. This allows them to release energy and have fun with friends and then be able to focus coming back into the classroom.